Why, hello there. Yes, it is. It is me. It is me here in the newly rearranged room known as Away with a kitty cat. Hello, Delilah. Yes, yes, being heckled by a cat as usual, like you do. Microphone over here. Bring it into the shot. Why not? Yeah, there it is. Just there. So yeah, here we are. And there's Delilah. Over this way. Off this side. Kitty cat. Yes. Everyone sees you now, and you are a gorgeous kitty cat. So, here's the thing. I stayed home today. I worked from home today because we were expecting a plumber to come, because we have a plumbing issue. Not a big, huge plumbing issue, not a horrible plumbing issue, not a bad plumbing issue, just a plumbing issue. But I needed to have, we needed to have some plumbing stuff done, so we're doing the plumbing stuff. So there you go. That's why that's happening. And so as such, I stayed home and worked from home, and now I am done working from home, and now we're going to play from home because we can. Those of you catching this live, I see I have two. Well, according to Streamlabs, I have 2 viewers. Now, whether or not I have 2 viewers is entirely up in the air. The only way I can tell is if somebody actually mentions something in the chat that lives over here, and then that's a sign of life. It does say that I've got 2 viewers, and I'm very happy about that because that means that I'm not just, yammering into the technology. So, yeah. And we're getting closer, I tell you, to actual live performances in front of live human beings, which I am very excited about and very happy for, because I've been going slightly bonkers the entire time that I have not been performing. Well, more bonkers than usual. Hey, Kay, there it is. All the way up, huh? Well, that's all kinds of things. Let's see, all the way up to the good. Oh, let's see here. Let me adjust my microphone. There we go. I have adjusted my microphone, and hopefully that will make me a little bit louder for y'all. I believe this is using the microphone here. This one hanging here. I'll test. Yep, the mute button works, so I guess the whole microphone works. Yeah, baby. Here we go. Yay! So yeah, it's a thing. Let's get this party sort of started with what brought me to the dance. I'll probably start every show I do at a Renaissance festival with this song, because it's just so appropriate. Do you know my friend from Faire? Do you know my friend from Faire? He's 4 foot taller, and he's got brown or sandy hair. And he has a hat and tankard, and he wears these great big boots. And he wanders around in a loincloth or one of them doublet suits. I'm sure you've seen him. He stands out in the crowd. Do you know my friend from Faire? Do you know my friend from Faire? He's a unique individual, no one else can compare. For he always sings or juggles as he goes about the town. And he always has a great big sword that ought to narrow it down. Did I mention I got to sing this in front of Rose and Thorny and they laughed a lot? Do you you know my friend from Faire? Do you know my friend from Faire? New song coming down the lane, you'd have to stop and stare. Don't recall if it's pickles, pretzels, or if it's popcorn that he sells. But you can hear him coming from a mile away on account of that he wears bells. Yeah, I sang it for them, and I made them startle their beverages, and I feel like I've achieved something from that. Do you know my friend from Faire? Do you know my friend from Faire? He's the coolest guy in all the world, I truly do declare. If you saw my pal in person, then you'd know of whom I speak. For he dresses like a pirate, now isn't that unique? Yep, pirate. With pointy ears. Elf pirate. And gossamer wings. Fairy elf pirate, and a kilt. Scottish fairy elf pirate, and horns. Demon Scottish fairy elf pirate, and fangs. Vampire demon Scottish fairy elf pirate, and leather goggles with gears on them. Steampunk vampire demon, Scottish fairy elf pirate. And big furry boots. Barbarian, steampunk vampire demon, Scottish fairy elf pirate. And a foxtail. Nobody knows why. Do you know my friend from Faire? I think I saw him over there. His name is Wolf or Hawk or Raven, or I think it might be Bear. Well, we've never met outside of Faire, but I'm sure he'll be along. Hey, wait a minute. I'm talking about you. I guess I'll end this song. And there we have that. I was very, very pleased with Rose and Thorny's response to this song. And then one of the people from another one of the music groups at the Kerrville Fair caught part of it, and they all said they were all very impressed. And I was very happy about that because, you know, I just figure I'm just some dork with big lacrosse glove hands who can't really play but can act like he can. And I just write these doofy songs and people laugh, and that's a good thing. So, yeah. So, we'll talk about this a little bit. I have either 3 shows or 4 shows at Texas Furry Fiesta. I'm not sure which, if it's 3 or 4, because I was told there was going to be 3, and it was going to be at 2:30 every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then I got 4 links to update my stuff in the online program. So I don't know. If I do 3 shows, I do 3 shows. If I do 4 shows, I do 4 shows. I will see some people there, and I will not see other people there, and that's okay. Amy's coming with me, and I'm really looking forward to that because it means that Amy will be there to keep me from doing something really stupid and like running myself completely into the stinking ground. We're also going to be debuting the Swag Wagon. Yes, I have merchandise now, and I have a cart to put the merchandise in, and then roll it on the site and set it up and sell things off of it, maybe. We've gotten past the first couple of proof of concept things with the cart, like, will it stay upright, and will it not collapse? So, so buttons at TFF. I'm a little ambivalent about the buttons for Sherwood because they're all very modern buttons. I mean, you know, Steampunk November or any con buttons for days. But I may have to contract the services of somebody with a Glowforge to make a few Ren Fair kind of buttons. I kind of like the idea of your friend from Faire as a favor, just because the song. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. We're not really having a good idea of how to do any of this. We are literally making it up as we go along, and because at this point I am comfortably settling into the mode of enthusiastic amateur as opposed to struggling professional, I feel that's okay. I feel it's good. It's a good place to be. And as I am telling people, I have been a magician for 20 years, but now due to a typographical error, I am now a musician. So, speaking of Faire and speaking of Sherwood, I will be seeing my friend, my pal, the glam goblin known as Lucky there. And Lucky is the person who's responsible for Fernando. Because Lucky told me that whenever they encounter a jumping spider at Faire, and you will encounter a number of them because you're outdoors, they always name their spider Fernando. And I thought, ooh, Fernando. So I had to write a song. And I had to write a flamenco song. So I had to learn some flamenco chords. This sounds slightly different because of the time I spent with Mark Merlin recording this. 8 little eyes and 8 little legs and 1 heart big as a tree. This tiny valiant jumping spider is a boon companion to me. Fernando, Fernando, the jumping spider. He's friendly. He doesn't want to make you cry, to scream, shout, or to bellow. When he leaps up and lands on your shirt, he just wants to say hello. Fernando, Fernando, the jumping spider. He's friendly. He is just looking for an amigo. He don't want to make you cry. But when he leaps up and lands on your blouse, you might just scream really high. Fernando, Fernando, the jumping spider. Hey, friendly! Fernando. Ole! So those of you who actually survived that song might or might not notice the slight technique change. Technique. Technique. Me having technique. It's to laugh. During the chords, the run through. Because what I used to do, especially after the dreaded third verse, is I would strum and I would take my hand off to give that little bit of chaos and mayhem. And Mark Merlin suggested that instead I actually strum it as a flamenco chord. So it would actually go instead of da 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 chaos, da 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 bonk, da 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 bonk, da 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 bonk. It go 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. So I'm actually developing some technique as we progress forward. Which, if you think that sounds weird to you, how do you think I feel about it? Honestly. Me. Technique. Ha! It is to laugh. Speaking of it is to laugh, yes, Texas Furry Fiesta. The 18th, the 19th, and the 20th. I have shows theoretically at 2:30. I don't know where. I do know they're going to give me, like, you know, microphones and amplifiers and stuff. And with the amplifiers, that means I can actually play some of the songs the way that I really want to play them. Like Kaiju Coffee, I really want to have some you know, a rock and roll feel to it. The same way with Internet Famous, which I will probably bust out again. I will only bring one instrument this time instead of bringing 4, which is what I did last time, which was a lot to wrangle. And I'm trying to be a little more reasonable about the amount of crap that I haul hither and thither. But we'll see. But I will have all the buttons I've made so far, including the Squidditch buttons, which is a limited run because I didn't make a whole lot of them, featuring Oswald the Recklessly Flung Squid. Both volumes of Artisanal Gibberish, published under the banner of the banner of Unruly Voices, an imprint of Paper Angel Press. There we go. And maybe some other stuff. I don't know if I may or may not have an album. We're still working on that. I have to touch base with Mark Merlin, because Mark Merlin is a gentleman whose studio at which I recorded 10 tracks, at least 8 of which are actually decent. So we'll see if we have a record. Who knows? It's hard to say. The next song is the second traditional Irish Celtic generic Celt type song that I wrote. The first one I wrote was called the traditional Irish gibberish song, and this is the other one. The other song I wrote, I've entitled Faye's Lament. It wasn't the original title that I gave it, but it is the one that Amy suggested that I change it to, because the title, as I wrote it, initially gave away the gag a bit too early. And as with all Celtic songs, it can be sung one of two ways. It can be sung light and pretty, or it can be sung drunk and resentful. I'm going to check some. So that's the options we have here. So it's a light and pretty, or drunk and resentful. And so far, when I give these options, for reasons, indeed, Kay, when I give these options to the audience, inevitably, drunk and resentful wins out over light and pretty. And I'm not sure why, but I'm entirely okay with it. We are still in tune, and I think that is an achievement. I don't know how you feel about it. I think it's an achievement. I think it's pretty cool. So let's throw ourselves headlong into this here. Drunk and resentful. My life was a shambles, I wished I were dead, but I decided I'd live with the fairies instead. So I found me a circle of space I had known, but when I pled my case, the fairies had flown. My dreams of adventure had all blown away, the problem was quite plain to see. Oh, I couldn't run away with the Faire ran away from me. I went to a mushroom ring out in the field, left cakes and honey and hoped it would yield a chance to leave my world and live with the Fae. Cakes, honey, and fairies were all gone next day. Them bloody cheat fairies had all run away. My dreams of adventure had all blown away. The problem was quite plain to see. Oh, I couldn't run away with the Fae ran away from me. Why? Well, the queen of the fairies, she heard my lament. In a big cloud of glitter, she popped up and went. We've heard your petition, but have to say nay. Stop begging to get us to haul you away. My dreams of adventure had all blown away. The problem was quite plain to see. Oh, I couldn't run away with the Fae ran away from me. I asked why I could not flee into the Fae. She said, for ya, boy, oh, ya can't go that way. She said, you are a rare one, but we'll tell you true. Immortal life's complex enough without you. No telling what madness you'd get us into. My dreams of adventure had all blown away. The problem was quite plain to see. Breathe! Oh, I couldn't run away with the Fae ran away from me. You know we've been watching, you're known far and wide. I said that's a bit on the slackerish side. You can't live here forever, but you can visit. You see, just remember the K turns BYOB. You are not getting in on a technicality. My dreams of adventure had all blown away. The problem was quite plain to see. Oh, I couldn't run away with the Fae ran away from me. Try to resemble everybody! My dreams of adventure had all blown away. The problem was quite plain to see. Didn't notice a thing. Oh, I couldn't run away with the Faire ran away. The Faire ran away. The Faire ran away from me. Olay. A little bit of a boating accident there, but that's all right. It was just a light bobble. Or as Kay was calling them, a kayak incident. I do need to sing the song for the Scarborough Fae. I did sing it the last time we came to visit, but there were only 2 Fae. This happens. It was a very light Fae season because it was in the middle of the worst of the pandemic. But I am more than happy to sing Fae's Lament for any Fae, in fact. I fully expect to get heckled by the Sherwood Fae, of which there are many. You have 4 Fae! Alright, you've doubled in strength! Yay! I am very interested to see how Scarborough turns out this year. I am still interested in coming out and doing this goofiness, because comedy magicians now apparently are very thick on the ground in the Renaissance Festival world. But it does seem like there are not a lot of people that do whatever it is that I do here with this, in this manner. So, you know, we will see. We shall see how it all goes. And now, my friends, we have come to the moment that many of you have been waiting for. Those of you watching at home, those of you watching on reruns, because I am big in syndication. That's right, it is time for the last song in the set. All good things must come to an end, and although this may not qualify, it still is going to. So, I'm going to do the song that I am going to do to end my shows at Texas Furry Fiesta this year, because the theme for Texas Furry Fiesta is Underwater Adventure, which means that I get to play things like Fish Puncher the Octopus and Squidditch and this song, which I still love so much. This was inspired, of course, by a Cat's Cafe comic, which can be found everywhere on the interwebs. And I actually have Kay to blame for pointing this webcomic out to me. But it's about giant radioactive monsters and their caffeine intake. And it starts abruptly. Very abruptly. KAIJU coffee rising up from the deep. KAIJU coffee helps them not fall asleep from the depths of the sea to the city downtown. Gotta get up and start roaming around. Wow, boating accident. We'll start that one again, because clearly it's been a while since I played this song, and I get so enthusiastic about it, sometimes I just forget the actual song. I'm okay with that. I'm honestly okay with that. Thankfully, I have notes. There they are. We're going to do it again. No one will notice. It's not like this is a big deal. 2, 4, 8. KAIJU. KAIJU coffee. Rising up from the deep. I need to rehearse. KAIJU. KAIJU coffee. Helps them not fall asleep from the depths of the sea to the city downtown. KAIJU gotta get up and start roaming around. Well, that decades-long slumber is real hard to shake off. What they need is a gallon of that bubbly black stuff. KAIJU. Kerchunka. KAIJU coffee. Rising up from the deep. KAIJU. Kerchunka. Kerchunka. KAIJU coffee. Helps them not fall asleep. Just because you're a giant don't mean that you don't have needs. Sometimes something with ambition helps you pull from great deeds. You gotta level the city first thing in the AM. You want a tanker-type latte, get you going again. KAIJU. KAIJU coffee. Rising up from the deep. KAIJU. KAIJU coffee. Helps them not fall asleep. Bridge! That's right, I built a bridge. And after I build the bridge, you know what's gonna happen? Giant radioactive monster. Tear it down. KAIJU. KAIJU coffee. Rising up from the deep. KAIJU. to coffee. Help them not fall asleep. Giant robots need fuel, and then a kaiju does too. You gotta have a big jolt from 10 gallons of brew. Kaiju cannot breathe fire if the stove is not lit. Chuck down a macchiato and the flame will not quit. Kaiju. Kaiju coffee, rising up from the deep. Kaiju. Kaiju coffee. Help them not fall asleep. Kaiju. Blackout Pyro. I have no special effects budget, but if I did, that is exactly how that would go. And I'm hoping, really hoping, that by the final show at TFF, when I do that song, they will actually end it in a blackout. Because I've seen it happen and people go, what? For some reason. Maybe they're getting grumped. I don't know. I can't tell. I'm not from around here. But so, my friends, we have come to the conclusion. A successful conclusion, I might add, because nobody died, and I still have viewers of yet another Tobias the Adequate, Troubadork, non-commute, unusually working from home for the day, pandemic coping mechanism show. Here we are. Thank you all for hanging out with me. Those of you who are watching live, and those of you who will be watching it in reruns, because I know for some folks this is currently at like 12:30 a.m. for some of the folks that watch me, way over on the other side of the freaking content planet. So we will do this usually every couple of Sundays because we've had other things happening on Sundays. I've done some of these during the week, and that's fine. I think it's good. I don't think we're going to get back to it on me doing it like on a regular basis unless I suddenly hit the lottery and don't ever have to work again. But if I do that, there will be a lot of things. There'll be like me showing up, dragging an entire stage onto various festival sites saying, no, I'm performing here now. I'm buying this spot. So, be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Take care. I want to thank all the folks who have donated to the fund, to the cause, including my Patreon patrons, Jen, Joe, Alexi, Austin, Chris, Teppo, Isaac, Linda, Ann, Stephen, Rob, Alicia, Relly, BK, Richard, Bree, Lorene, my Patreon peeps past and future. I want to thank Eric, and I want to thank Rick, and I want to thank Alicia, and the other folks who have donated to my tip jars and tip buckets, and you can go to patreon.theadequate if you want to be a Patreon patron, or just go to theadequate.com and find out how you can throw money at me in other ways. I am Tobias the Adequate on Cash App and Venmo. No, I'm Venmo, I'm Tobias the Adequate. On PayPal and Cash App, I am The Adequate. We are, of course, brought to you unofficially by Unruly Voices Publishing and Carpe Diem Comics in McKinney, Texas, the official emotional support comic shop for Tobias the Adequate and all of his various silly things. And I want to say one more thing, and this is very important. If you've been watching the Texas news today, you know that some people have decided that the best way to rile up their base is to point at other people and say, they're bad because they're different. Well, that's bullshit. And there are already things in motion to quell that kind of stupid performative cruelty. If you live in Texas, or know someone who does live in Texas, vote in the primaries. Vote in the primary. Vote in the primary. Vote in the primary. Vote in the elections. Participate. That's the only way we can get our asses out of this, short of more tree branches falling. And if you got that joke, you are really deep into Texas politics. And that's okay. Like it says down here, Texas Furry Fiesta in March, Sherwood Forest Fair the first 3 weekends in April, which means I have a very good chance of playing at the Hasselhoff Ballad during Oscar Hasselhoff's Tournament of Champions, which will be back in its all violent glory. And I'm also going to be doing the Ren Fair of Bandera County, the final Saturday in April and the first Sunday in May. And you can look that one up. That is out west off of, I think, 16. But you look up Ren Fair of Bandera County or guildsofrequiem.com. And of course, I work cheap at about 300-mile effective radius. And I think that's everything. That's enough out of me. Thank you all for hanging out with me. You have been wonderful. I continue to be Tobias the Adequate, and I thank you for encouraging my behavior.